Hey everyone, welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am super excited to be here. Thank you for being here on the live. Thank you for those that are watching the replay. I am Noelle Agape. I am a health and wellness counselor, a NLP trainer, a quantum energy trainer, and finishing up my shaman journey, becoming a shaman. And I just want you all to know that I am so grateful that you're here today. Today in this channel, what we do, we go into merging science and spirituality and unleashing your power within, allowing you to tap into the greatest version of yourself and understanding that there is a version of you that is already in the quantum fields waiting for you. We work deep into the quantum on this channel, and today we're going to talk about multiple realities and understanding that the multiple realities already exist, and we are going to go deep into the quantum today. So if you're interested, stay tuned, stay till the end, because I'm going to give you an amazing life hack on how to actually tap into the quantum fields and see the best version of you. It is incredible to be here. I love Wednesdays because Wednesdays I get to teach. And so let's just jump right in. And so what exactly is the law of assumption, right? What I do is I work in the quantum fields with the law of assumption. Many people work with the law of attraction, and I believe that that's wonderful, but I believe that that's only a partial of what we can learn. And I work with true consciousness, moving from the ego into consciousness and understanding how important it is to truly live in consciousness. We all have it within us, everything within us, everything external is really what's going on. Everything external is just a mirror of you being pushed out, meaning that everything that you see in your external manifestations or your external world is truly inside of you. And so what we're going to talk about today is multiple realities, multiple versions of you, and how to actually get there and how to let go of old versions of you, revising old stories, becoming a newer, different, better version of you. Not just understanding that you have to truly heal everything, but you have to transmute into a different energy. We work with energy on this channel. And again, we go deep into the quantum fields. We talk about the electromagnetic fields and understanding the science behind the spirituality and how science and spirituality merge for you to exist. So let's talk about what exactly the quantum is. The quantum is an infinite field of possibilities that already exists. So it is my belief that everything is already created, and God's source, the universe, has created it, and then it is God in you, through you, experiencing this beautiful life together, and it's a dance with the beautiful divine. And so if you understand that there's already an infinite version of you, that there's multiple realities, there's multiple versions of you, there is things that are happening, and you're manifesting all day, every day. So why not manifest consciously, right? And so on this channel, we manifest consciously because we understand that we're in control of our reality. There is no external force that is forcing us or allowing us to become something different, or there is no intrusion at all. There's no intrusion. There's no intrusion. There is no intrusion, right? And so understanding that your power is within you. Your power is claiming who you are. And many people, and this is probably my biggest pet peeve in this journey, is that, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm a licensed counselor, NLP trainer, quantum energy trainer, learning to be a shaman, finishing up my shaman journey, and understanding that many people want you to stay wounded. And that's the biggest thing, is that many people want you to stay wounded. Why? Because you're making money off of you being wounded, right? I mean, that's raw and real. But also it allows them to perpetuate the pain and the wound and everything like that. You don't have to stay in the wound. You have to acknowledge the wound, but you don't have to stay in the wound. And I say all the time, right? So your inner child is, from 0 to 10, your brain is malleable, and you actually develop your neural net pathways. You develop your belief systems. Your thoughts become patterns. Your patterns become beliefs, and your beliefs become your realities. I think my New York just came out in that sentence. My New York accent just came out, although I've been in San Diego for 25 years. Anyway, your thoughts become patterns, your patterns become beliefs, your beliefs become reality. And so we work with mindset, yes, but there's 4 different bodies that go deep into the quantum field. It's your mental body, your physical body, your emotional body, and your energetic body. You have to work in all 4 to actually transmute and quantum leap. We talk about many things in here in the quantum. We talk about, actually understanding that you can move into a different version of you. It doesn't have to be that you have to live in this pain. You have to go through the pain, and you have to feel the pain, and you have to know what it is, and you have to learn the lessons that your soul has come here to experience and expand. But you don't have to stay in that energy, right? And so there's the phase of manifestation goes like this. You have a desire, and then you have to believe that it is possible. You have to believe that it is done. You have to believe there's a source within you, or a higher source, that is going to create that. And then you actually have to, there's a process. And so there's a time lapse. If you believe in time, I collapse time and space all the time. I've talked about that on this channel as well. That, you have to transform from your ego to your consciousness. So moving from ego to consciousness is a big deal, because many people feel that in the ego space, that they are wounded and they're the victim, and things are happening to them. And the reality is there's no intrusion, right? It's your free will truly is dependent upon the choices between ego and consciousness. And I'm going to say that again. Your only free will that everybody in this entire planet has is a choice between ego and consciousness. Consciousness meaning the higher version of yourself, God, source, universe, whoever it may be. It is tremendous in the sense where we can truly have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful journey, and understand that things can happen, and understand that there's a version of us that we have adapted to and we have created. There's a version of us that we have become. There's a version of us that we truly, truly is waiting for us on the other side. So with that being said, super excited to go on this journey with you guys, because unleashing your power within is understanding that you have the power within. You have everything within inside of you. And it's such a powerful, beautiful gift to know that there's already a version of you that already exists. And it is wonderful and beautiful, as well as there's a transition period between your ego and your consciousness. And when you go through the transition period, it is a really big deal, because sometimes the opposite of your manifestation shows up, right? Sometimes what happens is you are scripting, you're affirming, you're becoming the new version of yourself, but the wounded child or the ego says, no, I want to stay safe. And then the wounded teenager says, I'm going to live in my ego because this is my patterns and this is way safer for me here, right? So what happens often on this journey is we go back and forth between ego and consciousness, back and forth between multiple realities. We go back and forth between understanding who we are and where we need to be. We go back and forth between making conscious choices and egoic choices. And that's really the journey that we get to experience here in our school. And I promise you guys this, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have an insane amount of education and certifications, and none of that matters if I'm not connected to me and God, right? None of that matters if I'm not on a journey of love and higher self and true expression of the version of me. So with that being said, what I want to tap into is the fact that there is already a version of you that is existing, a version of you that is wonderful, a version of you that is amazing, a version of you that is truly, truly, truly compatible to your desires, right? So you are manifesting all day, every day, meaning that you are manifesting the life of your dreams, or you're manifesting from your ego and your old belief systems. From 0 to 10, your brain is super malleable. So someone could have told you you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not safe, secure, and protected, you're not lovable, you could have been victimized, but you don't remain in the victim. It is this journey of understanding you and having awareness of you, understanding that there's a higher version of you, understanding that there is a magnificent version of you that is no longer wounded, no longer 4 years old, no longer 13 years old, but a beautiful, spiritual, mature adult. So in the quantum fields, I'm going to get a little sciencey here right now for a minute, is that you're moving from, we're in matter right now, right? But what most don't understand is that we're mostly wave. And so we're in particle form. And so when you understand physics, we're moving from particle to wave all day, every day. And we're understanding that it is a beautiful journey and a beautiful dance to move from particle to wave. And when you're very present with you, and when you're present with what you want, you have the desire, you have the time lapse depending upon your belief system and how you are, and then you have the transformation of ego to consciousness. This is where you're moving from matter to wave and matter to wave, and you're getting to the point where you can truly love and embody the dance, and not look at things as bad or good, but just look at things as lessons. And everything that is showing up in your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And if you stop and you say, oh, okay, this is happening, not to me, with me, we're going to go through it. We're going to work with our inner child. We're going to work with our inner teenager. And then we're going to go into the fact that I know that there's a better version. So let's continue in it, right? So the law of assumption means you're staying in the end of your vibration, right? Meaning that in the vibratory fields, you're at a frequency of whatever it may be, meaning you've embodied that frequency. You've tapped into that frequency. You've become that frequency, and you on this journey are that frequency. And that is what shows up in your reality. So good, bad, or indifferent, whether it is, lack or scarcity, or whether it is abundance and love, you're going to be somewhere on the vibratory scale. And that is understanding that there's an infinite amount of versions of you that you can tap into. Now, with this, when you're transitioning from the ego to the consciousness, there's always bridges of incidences, meaning that you can't just show up. Like if I showed up with blonde hair and blue eyes and my name was Cindy, and you were showing up for Noelle Agape show, you'd be like, wait, who are you? What are you talking about? So there is a version of me that already exists that my subconscious has to know and understand. Okay, there's a version of me that exists, but my subconscious and my ego hasn't caught up to my consciousness yet. So what I have to do is I have to have a bridge of events. So most of the time you manifest in little small sections and until you have a quantum leap. Sometimes when you're an exact vibrational match, you'll have that quantum leap, but other times you won't, right? Other times you'll go through the journey of the ego, go through the journey of the soul, and understanding where you're at and what you want to do, but it's never bad. And that's what's, when you have the understanding, and this is as clear as I can possibly be with this journey, is it's nothing more than an electromagnetic fields, meaning that your electro is your thoughts and your magnetic is your emotions. And Joe Dispenza says this all the time. I say this on this channel all the time as well. Your thoughts are your communication of your mind. Your emotions are your communication of your body. And when your mind and your body are in alignment with consciousness, that's when you're a conscious creator, and you consciously you're adapting to a higher level, a higher frequency, a higher vibration. You're not living in the matter. You're not living as a particle. You're understanding that there's more to you. There's more in the vibratory field than you're actually experiencing, right? So you don't get, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. And over and over and over again, so many people have said this, and we are moving now into a quantum world. We are moving now into a quantum world. We are moving now where people are understanding the vibratory fields. We're moving now where people are understanding that they can change their reality. We're moving now into a position where people feel like they are can become a different version of themselves. We are moving now where people are quantum leaping because they're choosing a different reality, and they're bridging the events faster, and they're collapsing time and space. They're collapsing from being into a particle, from the 5D into the 3D, because there's so much more love and light in this earth. Now, I will tell you this. There is nothing good that could ever come of condemnation, of fear, of anger, of hurt. And we work deeply with those because, I'm a counselor. I am a quantum energy trainer. I run crazy adventure retreats around the world using fear as a motivator, not a debilitator, excuse me. But what we don't do is we don't stay in that vibration. We acknowledge that it was a vibration and it was an old version of you that you created, but we don't stay there, right? We completely move into a new vibration, understanding that there's an infinite amount of possibilities, right? Again, I can't just show up and look in the mirror and be blonde hair and blue eyes and think that everything's okay. Your conscious mind has to understand and adapt that there's a new version of you, and that's the transition period, right? That's the transition from going from ego to consciousness. And in the transition of ego to consciousness, it's such a beautiful gift, because the more that you allowed God in you through you, the more that you actually become consciousness. And when you start to understand that you are consciousness all day, every day, and it's not this source that's outside of you that you're reaching for the millions, or you're reaching for the lover in your bed, or whatever it may be, you're reaching for the feeling and the heightened sense of emotion and the thoughts, and your brain's a computer, your body's a machine. Your soul is here to experience and expand, and your emotions are showing you along the way, right? All day, every day. I've been doing this for 20 years. I pivot and fall from grace. But your manifestations are conscious if you choose them to be conscious, right? There's an infinite amount of versions of you that you can be tapping into and saying, this is the vibration that I like. This is the feeling that I like. This is the emotion that I like. You have to have a mental diet. You have to change how you think. You have to change how you feel. How you think and how you feel predicts your reality. And I am, I'm a shaman, and I do feel, hear, and see energy, but I know that what your future is going to produce, how based on your thoughts and what your words are saying and your emotions, because that's what your reality is going to produce. The biggest thing to understanding between moving from ego and consciousness, the biggest thing I can teach you is that today's energy that you're experiencing in this 3D particle matter world is yesterday's vibration. So you have to literally be conscious every single moment of every single day. I am not kidding you when I tell you guys, I have such an incredible routine. I wake up an hour before my alarm. I meditate for an hour. I do breath work in that process. From that, I'm regulating my nervous system. I'm setting and intending my day. I'm already in the energy of where I want. Then I write in my journal exactly, and I script exactly how it would feel, how it would be, I would act, how I would show up as that version of me. Then I literally walk through every room of my house. I walk through into my daughter's rooms. One of them is at college. She's not even here. And I tell her how much I love her. I pour love into her. I have gratitude into her. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for my home. I'm so grateful for its already existence. I live in gratitude before. And now this is literally before I even have a cup of coffee, before anything, before I brush my teeth, anything. All of this happens. And then throughout the day, I'm living in the version that I want to become. And sometimes I fall from grace, and emotions hit me, and I have to stop, and I have to pivot. I have to go in my room. I have to meditate. I have to put people on pause. I have to decompress. Because when you understand that there's a version of you that you're already waiting, but you're working through the matter to get to consciousness, the more that you're in wave, the more that you're in connection to that, and you're not, you're not in the negative particles, you're in the beautiful high frequencies of love, enlightenment, and all of the journey. That's where you're going to be connected to it. And that's where it's going to show up in your reality. Again, the universe is not going to give you what you are. What you want. It's going to give you what you are. Becoming the vibration and the frequency. It's all energy. It's all energy. It's all energy. It's all energy. And understanding and knowing that it's an energy, and you are an energetic being. Your emotions are energy. They're energy in motion. Your body is energy. Your cells you are a biochemical blob of energy, right? You're working with the energy, with the frequencies. You're working with understanding and knowing who you are and showing up differently, right? You have to show up differently than the wounded child. You have to show up differently than the wounded teenager, because that is not spiritual maturity. That's not consciousness. That's the wound, right? So from that space, what you do is you live as if. When you fall from grace, you pivot, you go back in and you say, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? This is showing up this way in my external world. How can I actually view that very differently? How can I see that as a pivoting step or bridge or stepping stone to becoming who I need to be? Now, the bridge of incidences are really, really cool. I'm going to go into that in the next section. I'm going to talk about the bridge of incidences. I'm going to talk about the opposite of your vibration showing up and why it shows up that way. In just a moment, we are going to be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. Stay tuned because we got so much more quantum coming. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. I'm super excited to be here. Today we're going quantum. We're talking about unleashing the power within and understanding how you have different versions of you and merging into a different reality, quantum leaping into your manifestation that you want and how that looks. So again, you start with your desire, then there's the time lapse. So your time lapse most of the time is your belief system of where you're at with that vibration. You have to do the inner work and find out what your belief system is around that. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel good enough? Do you feel safe, secure, and protected, lovable, safe, or whole and complete? That's the journey, right? That's the inner journey, is the time lapse. The transition is moving from ego to consciousness. That's such a big understanding when you're knowing that you're moving from your ego, your wounded child, or the wound is the child, the younger child, the teenager is the ego, higher consciousness is the adult. Always, always, always looking into you, understanding that your manifestation can come from ego or it can come from consciousness. Where do you want it to come from, right? That's such a huge power player. So you have your desire, you have your time lapse, and then you have the transition period. With that, I was talking a little bit in the first section about the bridge of incidences. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the bridge of incidences. What that looks like is it's partial manifestations, right? Bridge of incidences are really cool because they are what's taking you from the ego into the consciousness. Now, energetically, everything happens first in the energetic fields before it happens in the 3D. So you have to actually create and become that energy. You have to be one with that energy within presence in this present moment. Although what is showing up in your reality is old energy, right? It is past version of you. You have to manifest in today, now. You can't manifest in the future. You can go into the future and you can feel and become the future and you can believe it's possible. And then once you believe it's possible, it's done. And once it's the dominant vibration in your field and you have enough momentum for it to show up in matter, go from wave to matter and conform, it's called a collapsing period. So most of the time, the bridge of incidences are getting you to your manifestation. It's an incident that happens to collapse it from the 5D into the 3D. So with that being said, it's super cool because the bridge of incidences are allowing your subconscious to say, oh, I'm on the right path. Oh, I'm not on the right path. If it could be a bridge that doesn't feel good. It could be a bridge that is completely opposite of your vibration. Now, right before you're breaking through your upper limits and right before the manifestation is going to come, most of the time, the opposite of the manifestation shows up in your reality to test to see if you're actually ready to let go of the old version of you and quantum leap into the new version of you. Now, I'm a quantum energy trainer and I teach this if you guys want to know all this, by the way, I teach this on, go to noelleagape.com. My quantum immersion is, it teaches a lot of this, but my quantum certification it goes deep into the quantum fields. Anyway, in my quantum certification, I teach this, that you actually can't go into another reality without collapsing the other reality and understanding that you have to complete the lesson. You have to complete whatever it is that the healing process before you can actually quantum leap into it, because otherwise you're taking all of that energy into your quantum leap, into your manifestation, and you're not living from consciousness, right? You're still living from the ego. So you have to complete one one version of you to move into another version of you, knowing that other version of you has to basically have an ego death, right? And so an ego death always comes right before the manifestation. So the opposite comes up most of the time before it's something really big in your life. That's called a purge. When you purge, your subconscious and your neural net pathways are firing, going crazy. I'm not safe. Oh my God, what are we going to do? It's your inner child. It's your inner teenager saying, I'm not safe. Oh my gosh. And you purge, or you self-sabotage. It's one of the two. You either go into self-sabotage mode and you go into your old behaviors, or you go into purge where you're literally facing every single fear that you've ever had with regard to this manifestation before it shows up. So then there's the next thing, which is really cool. And this is really fun because this is when you know you're dancing with the universe, is the birds before land. Now, the birds before land is based on, and I just taught this in my community this week. It's based on the fact that birds, if you're out far enough in the ocean, and I believe it was in the Bible with Noah. Again, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that this is what happened with Noah. Noah brought all the animals onto the ark, and he was in the middle of the ocean, and he moved away from the chaos, right? Moved away from the chaos. And then he saw new birds that were flying over land, and he knew he was close to the land. So a bird before a land in your manifestation process is literally, first it's the idea, then it's the time lapse. You have to work with the time depending upon your belief system and how alignment are you. That's the time lapse. The second is the transition between ego and consciousness. Within that comes the bridge of events that you're happening. You're bridging your events towards your manifestation. You're getting either closer or further away, depending upon your belief systems and your egos. You never can mess up your manifestation. But the coolest thing in the world is after the purge, most of the time after the purge. Sometimes it come before the purge when you're in alignment with it, but most of the time after the purge, what happens is you start to see bird before lands, meaning that like you'll see something that it looks exactly like what you're manifesting. Say you're manifesting getting engaged. You'll start to see your ring everywhere. You'll start to see your lover's car. You'll start to see numbers. You'll see, 111, 223. I see. I work with numerology. I see numbers all the time. They speak to me. But understanding that your emotions and the story that you have behind your purge, before you land, when you're spiritually mature, you don't look at it like you live as the observer of your life. I really do. I mean, I'm not kidding you when I observe all day, every day. And at the end of my day, I course correct and I say, okay, where did I fall from grace? I have to meditate. I'm going back into meditation now. I'm clearing my day. I'm clearing my ego. I'm dying to the old version of me so I can become a new version of me tomorrow, right? Constantly moving in the space of movement. Energy is fluid. Energy is movement. When you feel stuck, when you're not moving, it's because you're stuck in your ego. You're not in consciousness, because consciousness is fluid. That's one of the most important things I can teach you is consciousness is fluid. Energy is always moving. So if you're stuck in your ego or your wound somewhere. Figure out, go into it and do the inner work, right? So the bird before lands are really cool because the bird before lands are they're usually right after the bridge of incidences, right? And so they come after the purge most of the time too. And so what happens is that it's your subconscious letting go of that identity. So think in archetypes, right? So think of the going from the wounded child to the goddess or something like that. You're thinking in archetypes because you are creating basically creation. It's God in you, through you, and you're expanding your consciousness in that space, right? So your inner secretary typing and going, okay, this is the story. This is the story. You have to have it. You have to stay to the story. You have to stay to the story. No, there's an infinite amount of stories that you can have, right? I mean, if I wanted to have blonde hair and blue eyes, I could just dye my hair and get contacts, right? And so the reality is that we don't live in a reality. Nothing is real. And circumstances don't matter. And when I say circumstances don't matter, it's not that I'm not validating you or your life. I'm saying really it is, there's an infinite amount of changes that can happen all day, every day. Why not choose consciously? Why not choose consciousness? Why not choose God in you, through you, to work through you to manifest, right? So this is true Christ consciousness. This is how Christ worked. He had assumed that it was already real. He moved into the energy of it. He became it. And then he taught us how to do it, right? And so what we have been taught for thousands and thousands of years is that our power is external, and it's not, it's internal. God is in us, through us, working through us to expand and experience in this lifetime. It's so beautiful. And it's such an incredible thing. The birds before land are really cool, because once you start to see and notice and be in awareness that they're there, the birds before land literally start to be like, okay, oh my gosh, that girl just had my wedding dress. Oh my gosh, that person looks exactly like my lover. It starts to be more and more in the vibration of it. So it's your subconscious telling you, your conscious mind telling you, your subconscious mind telling your conscious mind, hey, you're right there. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Bird before lands are super fun, really cool. This is the thing, guys. When you make this process fun, and when you're like curious, you're like, oh, that's a bird before land. What meaning am I going to give it? You can give it an egoic meaning, or screw this. He's this, or, oh, okay, I'm getting married. Like, however it is that you want to create with God on a higher consciousness level, that's when God starts to talk to you. The universe doesn't say to you, Noelle, go left. Sometimes I hear that, right? But other times it's more the universe speaks through people, through signs, through synchronicities, through birds, through situations that you never could imagine. Now, that is right before your manifestation, right? And so that's when you know your manifestation is coming, and it's so juicy and it's so fun. There is an infinite amount of realities that you can tap into all day, every day. Now, I again, in my shaman journey, I have learned spirituality. I have learned how to revise stories. I go into my past and I could revise an entire story. I have revised stories and they've changed my life completely. Now, it's your belief system about that, of how it's showing up. There is an infinite amount of realities. Free will. Let's talk about free will. Free will is, you're either going to choose your ego or you're going to choose your consciousness. That's it. There's no free will of this person has free will. It's they are you outpushed in their reality. They're them outpushed. They're experiencing something that they're experiencing, but you are experiencing what you are experiencing through God in you. And your free will is, I'm going to choose to be in Christ consciousness, or I'm going to choose to be in a lower version of myself. That's it. That's all free will is. So the more that you choose consciously, the more that you live consciously, the more that you embody consciousness, the more that it starts to take on its own form, and you transmute faster, and you quantum leap even faster. Right. So when you understand the manifestation process, and that you can astral travel, that you can literally tap into, I can move into a different reality right now, and understand that I have to be completely in alignment with it to do it. But it's vibration. It is vibration. It is vibration. It is vibration. So what I'm going to do in this section is I'm going to teach you guys some really cool things. I teach quantum on a really, really high level. Like I said, I teach lucid dreaming, I teach astral travel, I teach tapping into consciousness and realities, and different forms of realities, feeling the energy and then collapsing it into the 3D. Again, you want to learn more about that, go to noelleagape.com. There are tremendous amounts of free things. There are meditations, there are activations there to activate you and your highest self. The coolest thing in the world, guys, is that you can do this on your own. You can do this on your own. There's no power outside of you. There's no power outside of you. First and foremost, I just want you to observe the stories that are going on in your mind. What are the stories that what are the stories? Ask yourself, what am I manifesting? Am I manifesting from my ego? Am I manifesting from my consciousness? I want you to choose something today. I want you to choose something that is super easy, like, a cup of coffee or a quarter or whatever it is. I don't want you to manifest like being a billionaire tomorrow if you've never even made $100,000. Like that your subconscious mind needs time to adapt. That's a transition period, right? So I want you to choose something super, super, super easy that you can work with the universe on. This is just a really fun, curious thing. And I want you to just have gratitude that that's already done. I want you to literally just choose something super easy, a phone call, anything that you want is available to you. The phone call may be a little bit more difficult because you probably have some attachment to it. So manifest like a red balloon or a coffee or something like that. Start small, because when you train your brain, here's a huge tip for you. When you train your brain to manifest and see things and work with the energy of the world and of the universe of consciousness, that's when you're like in the flow, right? So a cool hack is, like I said, I go throughout my day. I start with my desire and I live in my end as if my day was already planned. I live in my end. I script as I'm in. I just pretend who that is. So I want you to feel how you would feel if you already had that cup of coffee, right? And it's just something small. Start there. Feel how you would feel having that cup of coffee. Taste how it would taste. Just talk about this cup of coffee like it is the most amazing thing on the planet. Just literally be like, I'm so grateful for this coffee. It was like free coffee. I was really in the mood for coffee, and it was this incredible amount of coffee that just came in the perfect time. I really just needed the coffee today, whatever it may be. Just something small, right? Now I want you to just script the end of that and be like, when I got this coffee, it was so delicious. It was so fun. I was the best experience because I just had the most joyful conversation with the guy at the coffee bar, and he gave me a free coffee, and it was so joyful, and it was so, and I want you to be in a high vibration with that. And then from scripting it from a high vibration, I want you to actually move back into, okay, so what's my story about just creating free stuff? For me, I literally feel like I'm magical. Like I'm like parking spots. Oh, the parking gods are going to get me a spot. Like, oh, I'm going to get this trip. Like I just manifest all day because I love manifesting. It's the energy of creation. It's my favorite energy in the entire world. It's the divine feminine energy. You're creating life with source. So the thoughts are your thoughts about it are the masculine energy, and which I'm going to do a whole show on next week. And your emotions about it are your divine feminine energy. You're using the energies to do it. Imagine that you already have that cup of coffee. Think about how it, and so at the end of today, here's the thing. Just imagine be a wave of it. Move yourself in meditation. Just clear your mind, close your eyes, wipe the whiteboard of your mind clean. I want you to see and feel and know and taste that coffee. It's already done. It's already done. Then in your mind's eye, you already have that cup of coffee. You go do your laundry, go do whatever you got to do, pick up your kids, go do you, right? Just see and be the observer. You'll start to see pictures of coffee. You'll start to get like on Instagram or social media, a coffee commercial will come up or something like that. I promise you guys, the more that you're in the energy of whatever your manifestation is, the birds before land will show you. Right. And so it's such a beautiful thing. So what I do at the end of the day, then at the end of my day, I look back, and this is a really cool life hack. I literally go and this trains your brain. You're literally training your brain. I go from the end of my day all the way to my beginning of my day. Every single thing. Oh, okay. I just brushed my teeth. So you're not starting at, I woke up and then I did this. You're starting at, oh, I brushed my teeth and then I washed my face and then I changed and then I got into bed and then I meditated. And so you're starting at the end of your day, and you're visualizing in your mind where you didn't have your coffee. Now, you think that's counterintuitive. It's not. You're literally training your brain to remember everything that you did throughout the day. Such a cool life hack when you understand that you can do this, because the more that you did it, it took me about 3 or 4 days to finally get it where I was like dialed in, where I had every single activity that I literally lived in my end and went back. Every single activity in my day. It took me about 4 days, and then I manifested exactly what I wanted to. So that's how I learned to train my brain, on top of, being a neuro-linguistic trainer. So with that being said, you go in and you for 3 days, 4 days straight, you go in and you relive your day. Where did I fall from grace? Where was I in ego? Where was I in consciousness? Oh, where was I connected to the energy of that cup of coffee? Again, we're not manifesting coffee. We're manifesting all day, every day. A cup of coffee is the same as manifesting a mansion. It's the same process, right? I'm trying to allow your subconscious to start small, so that way you know the process and how to do it. Right? There are so many different ways you can manifest. You can script. You can affirm. You can believe. You just knowing the formula, which I'm giving you, is the best and greatest thing, right? So you start your day backwards, you move through your day, and you see where you fell from grace, where you weren't in the energy of it, where you really don't care, where were you attached to it, where were you not attached to it. The second that you detach, it shows up instantly. Detachment is beautiful energy. Final piece to the manifestation process. If you are obsessed and saying, where's my manifestation? Where's my cup of coffee? My cup of coffee's not here. I really needed my coffee and my coffee didn't show up. Coffee's not going to show up because you're in lack and separation. You're not in consciousness. You're in ego, right? So understanding that lack and separation is ego and it is not consciousness. We will be right back, guys. We're going to give you some key takeaways from today. Stay tuned. We will be right back, guys. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show, where we unleash your power within. Today, we are talking deep into the quantum fields. We're talking about multiple realities, manifesting, living the life of your dreams, living from consciousness and manifesting consciously, not from ego, but from consciousness. So understanding the power within you is so important. Understanding that there is a different version of you waiting for you. Everything is already created. You're not actually going out and creating something new, right? You didn't create the sun. You didn't create the moon. You didn't create the trees. It's God in you, through you, tapping into an energy and energy and energy and energy. And when you know this, it will change your life. You're not working with people. You're not working with behaviors. You're not working with circumstances. Circumstances do not matter. Circumstances do not matter. Why? Now you're like, Noelle, I'm in pain. Of course circumstances matter. No, circumstances, that's old energy. That's an old version of you that you have created through your belief systems, your thoughts, your patterns, and your beliefs. And then it becomes a reality, right? Heightened sense of thought, heightened sense of emotion. Where are you on the vibratory field all day, every day? Where are you on the vibratory field all day, every day? Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I am not kidding you. When the opposite of my manifestation shows up, I have so much gratitude for it. Why? Because I literally understand where I am in the vibratory fields. Oh, I'm massively in ego over here. I got to move to consciousness. How can I transmute this matter into wave? How do I become love? How do I raise the frequency? How do I find love in this? How do I find gratitude in this? How can I turn my pain into my purpose? How can I teach this out to the world? Something good is in what you think is bad, because nothing is good or bad. It is just the story that you have attached to it. You're working with energy. You're working with energy. You're working with energy. And when you understand the magic of consciousness, it is so beautiful because it's in you. Consciousness is in you, is Christ in you, God within you. Different way than it's ever been taught, but it is absolutely been around since the beginning of time, right? This is the most powerful thing you can understand. It has been around since the beginning of time. It is the energy of creation. Everything is created already. And that is the coolest thing, because I want you to look at your desire. There is nothing that will ever enter your heart or your mind. Nothing that is not in existence. There is nothing that is not inside of you that cannot be manifested. I don't care what it is. You can manifest anything you want in this life, as long as you're manifesting consciously and it's not from ego, right? Understanding the periods that you go through and understanding that you're moving with your ego to consciousness. You're not breaking your ego. You're not, smashing your ego. You're working with ego as a tool. Your ego is your tool. Your emotions are your tool. The fear, the anger, the hurt, the sadness, they're all tools towards your manifestation. It is so perfect and so beautiful to understand that it's life is guiding you. If you are the observer of your reality in consciousness from a spiritually mature way, if you're the observer of your reality from ego, I promise you the shit show will show up. I promise you the more that you focus on the negative vibrations, like attract like, it's science. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are feeling, you are produced as your energy tomorrow, right? You have to know that, your consciousness is always there and loving and supporting and waiting for you to get there, but God will never come down to your ego. God will never come down to your ego. God will never come down to your ego. We're here to experience and expand. Your soul has come in to experience and expand. If you're in contracted energy, that is your ego. That is your wounded child. That is your wounded teenager. If you are an expansive energy, that is spiritual maturity. That is consciousness living through you, experiencing life in this human form. God in you, through you, right? Knowing and understanding that there is an infinite versions of everything that is showing up right now. The 1% of matter it doesn't matter. The 1% of matter does not matter. Why? Because it can be shifted like that. It can be changed like that. And I promise you guys, I promise you this, I have manifested everything that I have ever desired in my life. Meaning that I understand the laws of science. I understand the laws of physics. I understand the laws of consciousness. And I choose to manifest from consciousness. Now, have I manifested lack and scarcity and separation? Yes. Have I learned through this journey how to do it with beauty, strength, and grace? Yeah. Are we still human? Yes. Do we need to be humble enough that we're still the student because we're not God, and conscious enough to know that we have mastered things that we can teach and bring out to the world? Everything is inside of you. All of you have a gift. All of you have a gift that you have to bring out to the world. Every single one of you. You don't have to be a TV host. You don't have to be traveling the world and doing what I do, but you have to be commit to being a bigger. Let me speak English today. You have to commit. And that is the thing. Living consciously, manifesting consciously in the beginning is not easy. Why? Because you are going through your belief systems. You're going through your ego. You're going through understanding and knowing that that old version of you literally has to die to become a different version. When you have an identity that you have to let go of, your subconscious wants to stay there and be safe. It is expansion. When you're in contracted energy, you're not moving in flow, because energy is always in motion. Energy is always fluid. Consciousness is always in flow. Consciousness is always moving. There is so much that you can tap into. Understanding the process. Go back and watch this show over and over and over again. The blueprint was given to you. You have a desire. You have to believe that it's possible. You have to believe that you're already in the end, and you have to create your end. Meaning not you're 95 years old on your deathbed, the end of the manifestation. Each manifestation has an S-curve. Each manifestation has an S-curve. I literally am one S-curve and starting my next S-curve because I know how to manifest, right? So the desire, the time lapse, depending upon your belief system, that's the time you have to go in and find the inner work and what you believe about this desire. The transformation between ego and consciousness, that's the period of you doing the inner work, the bridge of incidences, the manifestation coming into process, you getting into vibrational alignment with it, you becoming it, you understanding it, you knowing it, you've let go of the old identity, completely let go of the old identity. Don't fall back into the same patterns that you're doing. What patterns are showing up in your life, that's what you have to change, right? Find your belief systems behind that, the patterns, moving into the manifestation from that space, knowing you're never done. This is the biggest thing, right? You separate, you detach. Here's the thing. This or something better and the greatest and highest good for everyone involved. When you say that at the end of your manifestation, this or something better, and I'm asking that the greatest and highest good for everyone involved happens? The universe conforms. The universe starts to move mountains for you because you're not in lack, you're not in scarcity, you're completely detached from the outcome, this or something better, and also not saying I'm going to hurt people, I'm not going to be my ego to do this, I'm not going to win. That's the competitive field, right? We're not playing on the competitive field of the ego. We're playing on the consciousness field, right? And so the creative field is the consciousness field. When you're truly creating, you're in consciousness, you're not in ego. Finding love in everything, finding empowerment in everything, finding yourself in everything. When you are in alignment, there is nothing that can stop you. And if there's a desire on your heart, I promise you guys this, if there's a desire on your heart, it's there for a reason. Meaning that it's trying to teach you for your soul to expand through this experience for you to move from ego to consciousness. That is the game right there. Then the detachment, right? This or something better with the greatest and highest good and the greatest and highest outcome. I'm going to see how this plays out. I'm going to be super curious. I'm going to be in gratitude. I'm going to have gratitude for everything I have in this present moment right now. I'm going to be with presence. I'm going to be present with presence in this life. Not fear is the past. Anxiety is the future. I'm going to live right here in me, and I'm going to create from this space. I'm going to see my reality. I'm going to learn from my reality. I'm going to see my emotions, and I'm going to learn from my emotions. I'm going to program my thoughts and my body and my brain, and I'm going to live consciously. I'm going to be committed to this. There is no back door. There is no back door. Yes, I see you, fear. Yes, I see you conscious. I see you not living consciously, right? I'm going anyway. I am a grown adult. I'm going to be spiritually mature. I'm going to find love. I'm going to do everything in my power to be in this. Not I'm going to grind. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to manipulate. That's manipulation. That's not manifestation. The difference between manipulation and manifestation is understanding that you are the creator of your reality. God in you, through you. Right? You're working with consciousness, not ego. Manipulation is ego. Manifestation is consciousness. It's the creative process. That is it. That's the blueprint of alternate realities. That's the blueprint of, everything that you need to know about a manifestation process. The coolest thing that I could tell you, start your day with intention. Start your day with meditation, always prayer, meditation. Do breath work to calm your nervous system. Journal. Visualize as much as possible. Get yourself into that energy. Course correct throughout your day. Live in awareness of where your vibration is. It's all energy. Where's your vibration? Where's your vibration? Where's your vibration? All day, every day. Course correct when you have to. Look and see where you are in the vibratory fields, look and see. Detach from your manifestation. Find out why you want your manifestation so badly, right? What's the why behind wanting that manifestation? Allow your inner child to have a voice. Allow your inner teenager to have a voice, but they're not in control. They're in the back seat in a car seat, right? Not in control, but they have to have a voice. They're trying to be heard because they're trying to move you from contracted energy to expanded energy. Listen to you, listen to God, listen to your manifestation, listen to the world, to the universe, how it shows up. What is showing up for you is a direct blueprint of what you created yesterday, the old version of you. This new version of me doesn't act like that. This new version of me doesn't talk like that. This new version of me doesn't even I have become someone completely different many times in my life. And those that know me my entire life have watched me transform. I may look the same. I don't even think I look the same, but I become different versions of myself. The final piece is that when you expand, there may be people that are not there. So you have to, spiritual maturity is understanding that there are different levels of consciousness. And the people that were on your journey may not be coming on your journey because they might not be at that level of consciousness. They're on their own journey. Respecting and honoring where someone is on their journey or where something is on their journey has nothing to do with you, right? That is you create the version of them. The more your energy changes, the more you see see things different, the more that I see people that I used to be in fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, or shame, like I felt betrayed, whatever it is, the more that I see them in love, the more they show up in love. Change you and your outer world changes. Don't focus on anybody else. Don't focus on anything else. Focus internally. Bring that energy back into you and God, you into higher. Even if you don't believe in God and you believe that there's a higher version of you, you have to believe that you didn't create the earth and the sun. There's something working in you to be a different version of you. It's just science. We are here to expand. When you are not expanding, you are contracted energy. That's when you get stuck, right? It is so simple and people make it so complicated. Is there an infinite amount of possibilities? Yes. Are there amazing versions of you out there? Yes. Is there a different version of you all day, every day, waiting for you to get into your power and see your power? Yes. You are more powerful than you will ever know. Break through that old version of you and literally unleash your power. The world needs you more than ever. There's something in you that you are here on purpose, for purpose. Find that. No backdoor. No backdoor. This is who I am. This is how I'm showing up in the world. I am becoming this version, that old version of me I died to last night. Then revisit your day. Every day, all day, every day. Living a conscious life is a commitment. It is dedication. Sometimes it's hard work. Sometimes it's not bubbles and unicorns. Yes, I am magical. Yes, I have manifested everything I've ever wanted, but I've also manifested really, really, really toxic situations. Learning and expanding. Student in one breath, teacher in the next. You want more information, guys, go to noelleagape.com. You can join us in Costa Rica in April if you want to come to Costa Rica and come on a crazy adventure. Well, we do this for an entire week. Or you can go, we have tons of courses. We have free meditations. We have everything there you can possibly need. This is a hub for wellness. This is a hub for consciousness. This is a hub for the quantum, for NLP, anything that mindset, anything that you want to get to a better version of yourself. I promise you it is at noelleagape.com. The biggest thing I could tell you guys is if you have anything going on in your life that is undesirable, because that's the story you've created about that, it is because it's the story you've created and the version of you that you've chosen to live in. If it is not serving you and your family and your higher self, and you're not living as a higher version of yourself, I promise you this, you're doing yourself, your family, the world a disservice, because there's something in you that needs to be unleashed. Something in you that needs to be unleashed. Trust is the biggest thing in the manifestation process. Belief. What are your beliefs? What are your patterns? Become someone different. It's so simple. Say yes to you. Do the work. Go within. Don't go without. Move away from victim. Move away from ego. And live in consciousness as much as you possibly can. You're more powerful than you ever know. Everything is inside of you. If you're struggling, get help. I will tell you this. I've had 5 mentors in the last 2 years. 5 mentors. One was a media coach. One was a shaman. One was, on my spiritual journey. One was a business coach. I would not be where I am without a mentor. They are a cheat code for you to get through your pain or whatever it is. NoelleAgape.com has tons of stuff that is free. YouTube has done we live in a world of information. If you are not getting help, if you are not becoming a better version of yourself all day, every day, it is a choice you are making. Choose consciously. Choose to manifest and choose to manifest the life of your dreams consciously. Big, big, big point. Manifest the life of your dreams consciously, not from ego. You are so powerful. You are God in you, through you. And when you know that, your life will conform. I just gave you the blueprint, guys. Go back and watch this as many times as you need. Your life becomes magical. I love you guys so, so much. I'm so honored to be on this journey with you. And thank you for being on this journey. Thank you for loving me enough for my gifts to be brought out to the world. And thank you for staying tuned till the end. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.